If one sits and thinks, and goes through each sport individually, we can find a pattern, something that is repeated again and again. Talent almost always nurtures more talent. Having somebody that is claimed to be unbeatable always fires up the competitors in wanting to challenge them, wanting to dethrone them. Magic Johnson had Larry Bird, Rafael Nadal had Roger Federer, Alain Prost had Ayrton Senna, and so forth. This is no different in football. Among the many battles that have been consumed through the generations of this glorious game, we find one that almost symbolizes everything football can give. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. It's almost laughable how long these two have been at the top. It's crazy to think that some of the younger fans don't know a world where they didn't play, where they weren't the best of the best. Their names have been echoed countless times. Their rivalry has separated numerous fans, but their wizardry and talent have brought together many more. Today, I'm here to answer once and for all the most argued question in football. The GOAT debate. Who is the best between the two of them? The answer is simple yet complex. Kinda like they are. The truth is, for me, there is no debate. There is one that's been made up by the footballing fans and the media, but other than that, they're both at the top and there's only personal preference separating the two. Take me for example. I've always been a proud fan of Messi, but I can't argue against how good Ronaldo is. Simply put, they're both neck and neck and we decide who wins the race. But the winner changes depending on who you ask. That's how close the two of them are. I want to try and keep myself off the stats as much as possible for this one because they don't even begin to describe this duo. I've always loved to draw this comparison between them. One is a gift of nature, pure talent at its finest, while the other is the incarnation of determination and pure dedication. That I will be the best attitude, but multiplied by 100. Talent against hard work. Oh, and just to be clear, I'm saying that in the both of them there is a higher percentage of these two elements. But that does not exclude the fact that both of them have talent and they worked hard to get to where they are. I'm not trying to make this become purely a debate on what is better, natural ability or one that's honed through skill and passion. Each of them was born with incredible talent and they also showed up week in week out at the gym or just commutes to their closest football ground to work hard and train hard. Their style of play is so strikingly similar, yet also so different. It's a paradox really. Take Messi as an example. If one watches how he plays, you can notice that he prefers a much more fluid, more dynamic way of dribbling. His whole idea is to create a path to the goal if there isn't one, drawing defenders near him, forcing them to break the line, while Ronaldo in contrast takes on a much more direct approach. He already knows there's a line to the goal. He just needs to control the space, trying to knock defenders off their rhythm with fast feet and quick skills. One prefers to lace their shots, while the other loves to go for a curler, with Ronaldo's famous strike against Portsmouth coming to mind. Just a cannonball aimed at the goal. We can also find something for Messi. His free kick against Liverpool was one of the goals of the season that year. You can argue that Ronaldo is more of a natural goal scorer while Messi prefers to go for the assist. If their careers at a certain point would have converged, it would have formed the greatest duo in the history of the game, both complementing each other's characteristics. Instead, their careers diverged after leaving Spain, even if there were a few times where a reunion was on the table. Ronaldo went back to United and attempted to etch his name even deeper down the books of this glorious club, but things didn't go as planned for external reasons. However, it must be said that not everybody is strong enough to take that leap back to a former club, who at the time were in a dire situation. Messi decided to link up with his friend Neymar in France, but amidst a baguette and a croissant they couldn't manage to win PSG their first Champions League, with him sort of being forced out of Paris after 2 very gloomy seasons. Now, both of them are living out their careers. Ronaldo is playing in a league that loves and respects him, scoring week in week out, displaying class at the age of 39. Messi reignited the second great American wave, reminding them that there isn't only basketball. He's having fun with Suarez, Busquets and Alba as he should. His exit from Barcelona was strange to say the least. A lot of factors that weren't exactly cleared up. But both of them are enjoying their football once again, and that's the important thing. I mean, think about it. This is the first time in around 20 consecutive years that they haven't been shortlisted for a Ballon d'Or. How much do big players like these get at the highest level? 5 to 6 years at best, with the right teams around them. Then, they just live out their careers. One prime example is Neymar, who had a 10-year stretch and now at 32, looks like he's closer to retirement rather than a return to Europe. Gareth Bale, after Ronaldo's departure, missed out on his big chance to become the main man, and he has since retired. You get the point. Very few players still play at the highest level after hitting 35. Almost none of them are in attacking positions, with players like Modric and Pepe still at the top of their game, with 39 and 41 years on their back. Maybe we can find an example with Giroud, who was still playing at a good level for Milan. But that's about it. Most players stop hitting certain levels after a specific age. The thing with them is, it feels like they peaked when they were very young and nobody ever told them that they could get out of that peak. Messi got his first Champions League at 18. Ronaldo did it at 23, same age of his first Ballon d'Or. Award which they won 13 times between them. By this point, both of them were already well-consolidated players in the global game. Also, let's not talk about their influence away from the pitch. I feel like CR7 sort of inspired and created a whole footballing culture in Portugal. Before him, they never managed to achieve success with the national team. Now, they are champions of Europe and have won the Nations League. He was the trailblazer. Of course, historically, Portugal has always had great players like Deco and Eusebio. But Ronaldo pushed his teammates as much as he pushed himself, even if he didn't mean to, with now many great Portuguese players in the modern game. On the flip side of it, Argentina's last World Cup was in 1986 under the legendary Diego Armando Maradona. Fast forward 20 years and they still couldn't add that third star, coming so desperately close against Germany before Götze shattered their dreams. Then, the boy from Rosario decided to finally step up, winning the 2022 edition with an incredible display, goals, assists, and more importantly, he showed passion. That was on full display for his game against the Netherlands, where it looked like they might be risking elimination after what was shaping up to be a very comfortable game for them. He proved why he wears the number 10, and why he's the person with the captain's armband. The same person who was on the brink of quitting the Albiceleste for good. But the call of that jersey was simply too strong. If Ronaldo created a footballing institution, Messi reignited one. That passion in the Argentinians for this wonderful game. And let's not forget, these two were also the subject of one of the greatest rivalries in the history of Spanish football. They were the first real rivalry that was almost entirely broadcasted, with the media constantly on them, in the age of socials where it takes 30 seconds to post a comment on Instagram or Twitter. When they played badly, they were berated. If they played well, they were celebrated like legends. But I don't think this fazed them. It just created a perception of them from the outside. But in truth, I think they never really cared about this. They just treated it as part of the job, and focused on playing at their absolute best, pushing each other on and on. Maybe off the field they're best of mates, but on the pitch they would give battle like never seen before. As Niki Lauda once said, "A wise man can learn more from his enemies than a fool from his friends." The golden ages of El Clasico were when these two were playing, back when this rivalry was the real deal. In those days I remember hearing about it weeks before, on the papers with magazines already broadcasting news of the game, with a month's notice. Now, it just sort of happens. If one does not pay attention to the games, they run the risk of missing it. But back then, people weren't tuning in for the match. They just wanted to see them give their all in an attempt to beat their counterpart. This was also reflected in the 10-year stretch of them dominating the Ballon d'Or. Only they won it in that period. It was not until Luka Modric that the streak ended. One can debate on Messi's latest award, but we can find several other occasions where these two were favored in regards to other people. Does it mean it's fair? No, but they can't be constantly blamed for trophies where they have no power over. I don't want to focus on these alleged rumors about the Ballon d'Or being fixed, because then that brings into question the integrity of the sport. Another thing I find funny is the way they were brought up and how they made their debuts on the big stages. Messi was a young boy who was playing for Newell's when his family received the news that he had the chance to move to Barcelona, to train in the great La Masia. He was then brought through the ranks under Rijkaard, believing in him and letting him make his debut. But he really got his crowning moments under the rigor and focus of a certain Josep Guardiola, where they revolutionized football with a false nine formation, with him as the center, and he thrived on it. Cristiano Ronaldo instead, through many hardships but never losing his focus, made it through to the Sporting first team, before Sir Alex Ferguson noticed his enormous potential in a friendly and courted him to join Manchester United. So then, this boy from Madeira decided to leave everything behind and arrived at Old Trafford. Under the tutelage of Sir Alex, he blossomed into this superstar that would then go on to conquer England, Spain, Italy, and now Saudi. Two different mindsets imprinted into them, with Ronaldo then going on to find something similar in Mourinho and Ancelotti at Real Madrid. These great man managers rather than tactical managers. Messi had the same cycle under Luis Enrique, a fantastic coach who imprinted a beautiful style of play into his teams, and it showed with them winning the treble under him. Some could say that Enrique is Guardiola's first real disciple. Well, he certainly learned well. But all this will just help in turning the focus on one of the greatest battles in the 21st century. No, scratch that, in football history. These two shaped a generation, throwing out punches left, right, and center. As they both said, they pushed each other week in, week out. Most of the biggest goal scoring records, one of them has it. Most goals in a calendar year, Messi. Record of goals in international football, Ronaldo. Most goals in La Liga, Messi. Most goals in the Champions League, Ronaldo. I still remember when this record was about to be broken. They had to beat Raul and they were both neck and neck. But Messi dropped in some games and Ronaldo cleaned up, shattering the record. He has since doubled it, setting the new bar at 140. But Messi redeemed himself in La Liga, winning the title an incredible 10 times. What is certain is that both of them showed while they were very young how much potential they had. Luck was on their side as they grew up under the right managers and blossomed into these monsters of the game. Their names would most certainly go down in football history as two of the greats, with their goals, their assists, and their trickery going alongside them. For 15 years, we had the stars align and offer us one of the greatest stories this beautiful game has ever given us. There doesn't always have to be a debate about who's better. Let's just enjoy them while they're still at the top. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you want, you can comment down your favorite moment from this rivalry. I appreciate all the support my recent videos have been getting, and I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers to my channel. But anyway, that's enough yapping from me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye everyone.